Coach Sheldon Harrison. There never been no comparison. You're live on the show. Sit back and have a listen. All right, all right. LDBC, this is your boy, the coach. You're live on the Coach's Show, the Coach's Show Live. Okay, guys. So, all the talk, Deontay Wilder coming out and, talking about, glove gate, spiked water, HGH. I mean, you name it. Okay. It's just a lot of this just really prompted me to just go back and just really research a few fighters that, they've been caught red-handed cheating, or there have been heavy speculations on these particular fighters cheating. Okay, and I'm gonna discuss it now. This is I am also going to also inject my view on this. And if you don't like this particular video, okay, here's your chance right now. Cut the video off now, because you're not gonna come in here and tell me what my view needs to be or what information I need to put up. Okay, you can leave the video at this time, because if you come on with an insult, I will block your ass, and that's just the way that is. Okay, guys. Folks, Deontay Wilder shook up the boxing world, and that's what he's been doing. It was discovered by a YouTuber by the name of Young Pharaoh. He actually, he discovered that Tyson Fury's gloves were actually, not worn the way they were designed to be worn. Okay, he discovered it. First, he discovered the left glove, and he said that Tyson Fury's left glove was flopping around. And, then, more and more YouTubers began to take a look at Tyson Fury's left glove. Okay, and to come to find out, Tyson Fury, his fist was in the lace part of the glove. So therefore, Tyson Fury can throw hooks and the glove would flop, but Tyson Fury could connect with the knuckle part of his hand. Okay, and then Young Pharaoh discovered that Tyson Fury, the padding in the right hand of the glove, had been greatly diminished or removed. Now, me personally, okay, I do believe the gloves were tampered with. I believe that. Okay, I believe that 100%. I don't know if I believe the HGH. I don't know if I believe Mark Breland spiked the water. I don't really believe all of that. But I do believe that the gloves were tampered with. And that's just the way that is. This really turned up the boxing world upside down. And then Deontay Wilder came out and made his own accusations. Okay, Deontay Wilder even went more so as to say, look, Ricky Hatton was pulling the glove down on his hand. So Deontay Wilder just came and shook up the boxing world. But I want to discuss some fighters, okay, that they've either been caught red-handed cheating, or there are a lot of speculation of them cheating. I want to start with Canelo Alvarez, okay? Listen, man, Canelo, or people call him Clenello, this guy tested positive for clenbuterol. Okay, and if you guys don't know what clenbuterol is, what it does is it burns fat. It burns fat at a high rate. So if you're a fighter that you normally carry around a lot of weight, some people, they just have a hard time losing weight and getting down to the right size. Clenbuterol will actually help you burn the fat. And it's illegal, and they don't want fighters using it. Well, Canelo, he tested positive for that twice. Now, did people go in a frenzy? The LDBC, we talked about it. We talked about how, that, and 78 Sports TV actually broke the story and said, what Canelo is going to say is he's going to say that the meat was tainted. That's what he's going to say. And sure enough, that's exactly what Canelo Alvarez did. He said that the meat was tainted. Okay, now when you hear that, you're thinking, okay, well, come on, you're a fighter of this magnitude. Okay, why would you eat beef from the street or, whatever? I mean, you don't understand. You don't know what's going in your body. Okay, of course he knew what was going in his body. Okay, the tainted meat is always like a scapegoat. Okay, and that's exactly what Canelo did. The thing of it is, though, Gennady Golovkin has something to say about that. Okay, and it says here in this article, Golovkin, however, feels that the repeated rule breaking by Canelo is at last being exposed. Before the first fight, I knew he was not clean. Okay, here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. Nobody said anything to Golovkin or about Golovkin, him complaining. about Canelo being dirty. Nobody said that. Isn't it funny that people, they want to get online and abuse Deontay Wilder online for saying that Tyson Fury is dirty? How do you explain this? Like, seriously, guys, how do you explain this shit? So Triple G can say, hey, so Canelo Alvarez is dirty. And you know what? The Triple G fans, oh, they came out in legions defending Triple G. They came out in legions defending Triple G. I mean, they even went on to say that, so Canelo Alvarez needed to be banned and, all of this stuff. But man, some of these same fans, oh, Deontay Wilder's just complaining. He's just whining. Okay, he needs to stop his sniveling and his whining and, and blah, 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 blah. Wow. So Deontay Wilder can't complain about a situation. See, this is eye-opening, okay? But I've always told y'all about boxing. Boxing is a dirty sport. It's very, very dirty. It's extremely dirty. Okay, so let's talk about Antonio Margarito. Antonio Margarito, man, we call him the Plaster Paris King. Okay? This man was always using Plaster Paris in his glove. And he was exposed. Okay, Okay, what would happen is Margarito would use dry Plaster Paris on the wraps. So then, when, he starts sweating and the Plaster Paris gets wet, because when the glove is going to get wet, then it'll harden. And that'll give you bone crushing type punches. Even if you're blocking the punches, it'll still feel like you're getting hit by bricks. Okay, Margarito got caught. Okay, now when he fought Miguel Cotto, the first time, okay, Miguel Cotto knew that something was wrong, but Miguel Cotto didn't know. Okay, he didn't know. And then come to find out later, Miguel Cotto then found out that Antonio Margarito, had been cheating. Okay, and Miguel Cotto saw like a little slit in his little hand wraps. Okay, he saw that, and he even showed Margarito, what is that? They were doing a face-off. Do y'all remember that? When Miguel Cotto and Margarito were facing off, and it was right before the second fight. And Miguel Cotto showed Antonio Margarito on the phone, and he showed him the picture. And Miguel Cotto said, so what the hell is this? And Antonio Margarito talking about, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know nothing. I don't know anything. Well, then, okay, so before he was going to fight Shane Mosley, okay, Nazim Richardson, rest in peace, he actually caught Antonio Margarito. Okay, and y'all hear Nazim Richardson talking about, man, when I saw the blocks, I knew that something was wrong. And it's funny, man, Antonio Margarito had been allowed to fight and continue to make money. He had been allowed to fight, and he had continued to make his money. Okay, they examined those gloves. They examined him. They made this guy re-wrap up, and then Shane Mosley then went to commence to whooping his ass. But Antonio Margarito was still fighting. So the same commission, guys, that y'all got so much faith in. Seriously, the same commission. They allowed this man to go on and fight anyway, even after he got caught red-handed cheating. Wow. How do you explain that? See, I hate it when people say, well, yeah, man, well, they would have saw it. He was getting his hands wrapped, and they would have saw all of this. And what? No, because the history tells us that the commission is faulty. Okay, like the history tells us this, y'all. And then, of course, we got old famous Louis Resto. Okay, we got famous Louis Resto. Goodness, man. This man got caught red-handed with a glove with no padding. Got caught red-handed. It's crazy, man. And they banned him, and they banned Panama Lewis from boxing. Now, isn't that something, man? Isn't that something? Panama Lewis can be banned from boxing, right? Louis Resto can be shamed, but Antonio Margarito could still go out and still fight. Tell you, boy, this is some commission, isn't it? Y'all sure that the commission is foolproof? And you got a lot of old heads in boxing, man. You got a lot of old heads that's been around, that's been around the sport for years. And it's like, I don't know, what, you guys misconstrued? I mean, you guys really, really, really misconstrued on that. This man was going to go in there and he was going to try to do the same thing he did to Miguel Cotto to Shane Mosley. This man was caught red-handed, man. He got caught red-handed and was still allowed to fight. It's crazy. You guys remember Marcos Maidana, don't you? Marcos Maidana and Robert Garcia, they were trying to, use a pair of gloves that had no padding in it. They were trying to use a pair of gloves. And, Floyd Mayweather took some damage in that fight, man. And guys, you have to think, man, if Marcos Maidana had been able to use those gloves and to attack Floyd the way he attacked him, Floyd Mayweather would have got severely, severely injured, man. Floyd would have got PG-13 channel up. Okay, people called Floyd a coward. They called him chicken shit. They called him everything. I mean, they was calling this man every name except the child of God and the God's hot son. Okay, why? Because he wanted to be on a playing field, an even playing field. He didn't feel like having his head bashed in with some guy, having bare knuckles. I mean, people call Floyd Mayweather a coward, and I'm talking about they were calling him coward. And then, when Floyd actually won that fight against Maidana, people then resorted to saying, oh, well, Floyd really lost that fight. He really lost the fight because, if Marcos Maidana would have been able to wear his gloves, Floyd would have lost even bigger than what he lost. But the judges cheated. They was on Floyd's side. Like, I start thinking, do people hear the shit that they say, the dumb stuff? Do people hear the really, really stupid shit that they say on a day-to-day basis? Because, I have to think that some of these people have no morals. As long as Wilder loses, hell, man, Wilder could have got killed, man. And you know what people would have been saying about Deontay Wilder? They'd have been saying, well, Deontay Wilder understood the risk. The sport of boxing is a brutal sport. It's a very brutal sport. I mean, he understood the risk. I mean, I don't understand why people are so upset that, that Wilder died. Wilder, see, that's what they would have said about Deontay Wilder. It don't matter, man. Deontay Wilder's life it's not important anyway. It's not important. I don't know, people are going to say, oh, man, well, Wilder talking about, he wanted to go catch a body. He wanted to catch a body. And, Mike Tyson said far worse. Okay, Paulie Malignaggi said really far worse. I mean, he done said, he'll kill his opponents. Nobody got nothing to say about that. It really, really, really is a shame. It's a shame, man. Marcos Maidana was still able to have the fight. He was still able to fight. They they gave him another pair of gloves, and he called Floyd Mayweather all kind of, he called them all kind of punks and sissies and pussies. He called them all kind of names, man. Because Floyd would not allow this man to use a pair of gloves that had no padding in it. Like, what, guys, what kind of sense does that make? Like, y'all gonna call me the name because I won't let somebody use a pair of gloves with no damn padding in it. How do you explain this? How, y'all? Wow. And let's think about this. Floyd Mayweather complained. But they tried to, do the same thing to Floyd. The fans, the people that hated Floyd, they tried to do that to him. They were actually, defending Marcos Maidana. They were defending him. Like, man, Floyd ought to be ashamed of himself, man. He ought to be ashamed. He didn't let Marcos Maidana wear his gloves. See, Floyd isn't a real champion. Like, and I'm sitting there like, do these people hear what the fuck they saying? Floyd is not a real champion. He's not a real champion because he won't let the man use a glove with no padding. Darnest thing I ever seen, man. Darnest thing I ever seen or heard. But you gotta know, man, that fighters like Deontay Wilder, fighters like Floyd Mayweather, fighters like Errol Spence, they're expendable to these fans. They're expendable. And I don't even use the word double standards. Guys, I just use the word racist and racism. Those are my words, okay? Don't come at me saying, oh man, it's a double standard. I don't even like that word. I hate that word. I hate that word. Okay? I hate that word completely. The truth is that you fans, y'all know. I mean, y'all know what you are. Okay, you know that you're hateful. You know that you're evil. And you know that y'all vile and disgusting. Okay? I don't even care if I dislike a fighter. Like, I'm not gonna wish death on them. Okay? Even if it's my favorite fighter, if they're trying to cheat or put on some gloves with no padding, I'm not going to co-sign that. I ain't going to co-sign it because, you know, it's a sport at the end of the day, and it's not worth somebody's life. Okay, boxing is already a dangerous sport as it is now. It's already a deadly sport. And, you know, it's like you make it even more deadlier when you take these extra measures to beat your opponent. Okay, and then you got Sugar Shane Mosley over here, man. This dude over here using performance enhancing drugs. He over here using PEDs, and he admitted it. I mean, he never tested positive. I mean, he admitted it. And, you know, that's bad because Shane used to beat guys up, and, you know, he's over here admitting that he's using PEDs. Guys, that's even worse. And I should have had Alexander Povetkin on this list, too. I should have had Povetkin. Hey, you know what? Let's put Povetkin on this list. Okay, there he is. Alexander Povetkin. Okay, y'all remember? I mean, y'all remember when he fought Johan Duhaupas? And Johan Duhaupas was taking the fight on a short-term notice. I mean, you know, Alexander Povetkin he popped. He got caught cheating. He got caught using performance-enhancing drugs. And y'all remember that Deontay Wilder had flu. He went to Russia. You know, he went over there, you know, to go, you know, finish up his training camp. And then they had discovered that Alexander Povetkin, he popped dirty. And do you know that these damn fans, man, they blame Deontay Wilder for it. Like, there were literally people running around here blaming Deontay Wilder, saying it was his fault that Povetkin somehow popped dirty. Like, what the hell? You know, and I knew then, you know, you people, y'all not boxing fans. Y'all are racist. You're racist. That's just what it is, okay? That's just what it is. That's what it's going to be, okay? And Povetkin, you know, he's tested dirty, man. He's tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs multiple times. Okay, multiple times. And even in the Dillian White fight, you know, people were saying that he was suspect. But I don't know if it was actually confirmed for his fight, okay? But there has been speculations that he tested positive, you know, in a Dillian White fight. But, you know, this man, he's tested positive in other fights. And it's kind of crazy, man, that this guy's still around. Like, how the hell is Alexander Povetkin still allowed to box? How? I mean, I don't get it. I mean, you know, these governing bodies, they're allowing it. So if they're allowing this man, you know, I can see if it's one time he tests positive, made a mistake, and hey, I won't do it again. Okay, fine. You know, slap him on the wrist and let him come back. But Povetkin is multiple times. So the governing bodies, they already tell you what they think. They already tell you that they don't give a fuck about the fighters. They already telling you that they don't care about the fighters' health. They're communicating that to you by their actions. Okay, I mean, so Canelo Alvarez can test positive for clenbuterol. So the governing bodies, they're already telling you that they don't care. They're already telling you that this is about money. Okay, that's what they're telling you. They don't care. And so y'all people think that the WBC and these organizations, they're going to conduct a fair investigation? No. Okay, because what would Tyson Fury being banned do for the WBC? You've already heard Mauricio Suleiman, fat ass, you've already heard him say that, you know, they got to make their money too. I mean, he came out and he said this. He said they got to get paid. And Tyson Fury being banned, that definitely don't do anything for his pocket. So he's not going to do a thorough investigation. He's not going to try to, you know, see Tyson Fury banned. They're not going to do that. I don't even understand why these governing bodies have these clean testing programs. I don't know why they do that. I don't know why, because they're not going to adhere to the rules and policies that they set. They ain't going to do it. And you know, when they suspend somebody, it's a joke because fighters don't fight every 2 months anyway. They'll suspend them for 6 to 8 months. Well, hell, they in training camp already. Okay, they're not going to come back, you know, before the 6 or 8 months is up anyway. They never were. So it's a joke. But the governing bodies already told you it's about the money. It's always been about the money. And finally, the last person that I want to talk about is Manny Pacquiao. Look, man, Manny Pacquiao like went up like what? Several weight classes, okay? And this dude, the more he moved up, he was still knocking people out, man, at higher weight classes. This dude started out at a small weight class, okay? I mean, what was Manny Pacquiao started out, 126 pounds? This dude done went up like what? Multiple weight classes. But when I saw him run right through Miguel Cotto, like when I saw him, you know, run right through Cotto, you know, I kind of started thinking that something was up with him. And then, you know, when I started thinking, you know, like he wouldn't take a drug test when he had to fight Floyd Mayweather. He wouldn't take a test. And I started thinking like, okay, damn, why won't he take a test to make all $100 million? And Freddie Roach confirmed this, that it was their fault. They didn't want to take a blood and urine test. They didn't want to do it. Manny Pacquiao started saying, I'll take a test, but it can't be 21 days away from the fight. Like, what the hell? Like, you ain't gonna take a test 21 days out? You not? Okay, so Floyd Mayweather, they knew that something was going on. They knew something was suspect. They knew. And man, you see, and then you saw what he did to Ricky Hatton. You saw what Manny Pacquiao did to Ricky Hatton. Okay, you seen what Manny Pacquiao did to damn Miguel Cotto. Okay, like he beat the head. Man, look, he made Cotto damn near submit, like quit. He beat Cotto up so bad. Then you saw what he did to Oscar De La Hoya, but Oscar De La Hoya was past his prime, okay? But Oscar De La Hoya was a bigger fighter. I mean, he beat the hell out of Oscar De La Hoya. Like it's crazy, man. Or when he fought Clottey. I'm sitting here like, wait a minute, this dude knocked Clottey off like that? Man, oh man, oh man. Man. But, you let Pacquiao fans tell you, they'll tell you, oh, he's been clean. He's been wrongfully accused. Well, how come he want to take a drug test? Why? Why wouldn't Manny Pacquiao want to take a drug test? And, it is kind of suspicious, man. This dude, Manny Pacquiao like 42, 43. And this dude's still performing like he in his damn 20s. He's still boxing at a high level, y'all. This guy haven't slowed down. Manny Pacquiao can still go 12 rounds and look like he ain't even took a breath. This man can go 12 rounds on a full stand. I mean, this man can throw punches for all 12 rounds still at age 42. Still at age 42, this man can still do this. And don't nobody think that's suspicious. Don't nobody think that there's something wrong with this. Nothing. Nope. You had the Pacquiao fans, boy, they defended the hell out of this. So all in all, Deontay Wilder, he's not the first person in history to complain about somebody cheating. Why all of a sudden now people act like that Deontay Wilder's wrong? See, I'm going to tell you, man. To these other fighters like Teofimo Lopez, I tell you what, let him get into a ring with somebody with the padding gone from the glove. Okay, and let's see what kind of, reaction he got. Let's see how he would feel. I'm sure he would say something about that. Matter of fact, of course he would. Of course he would say something about that. He would say something about it because that the person that you're fighting would have an unfair advantage. So I don't even want to fake the funk. Or if it's a fighter that the person like and if somebody's cheating, of course you're going to say something. So Deontay Wilder he got to sit back, he got to shut the hell up and just box. They paying you millions of dollars, it don't matter why. You're going to make money anyway. Go in there and let somebody beat you up with a glove with no padding. And y'all can argue and say Deontay Wilder need to learn how to box. Okay, fine. Fine, then you tell me then, if Deontay Wilder need to box and if Tyson Fury is this superior fighter, why does Tyson Fury need to, reduce the padding in his gloves? Why does he need to do that? Why does Tyson Fury need to pull his hand down in the laces? I'm sorry, y'all. I don't subscribe to the water. I don't subscribe to, all the other stuff. The suit being heavy, I don't subscribe to that. But those gloves, there was something wrong with those gloves, and those gloves were tampered with, okay? It is what it is. Why does Tyson Fury have to take the pad, not the gloves? Why does he have to move the gloves down? And please, don't come on here and start arguing, saying, well, they had people watching. What was JD's doing? What was he doing? Listen, man, the game of boxing dirty. People act like, and it's amazing that some of you been watching boxing your whole life. Y'all know boxing dirty. Y'all know that these things happen. I mean, what? Y'all don't know? I mean, people take dives, people take bribes. I mean, they take all kind of stuff. People take PEDs. Okay? Boxing is a mafia-ran sport, and it's still ran by the mafia. Y'all don't think it's dirty. The governing body's taking money from promoters to have their fighters ranked so they can fight for belts and all this other mess. And the governing bodies are the real crooks. Those some criminals right there, man. And then you got your promoters, they've been, like really monopolizing the sport for years. And Don King's still around. He just operates behind the scenes now. He's not in the public eye. Okay, but when these old heads die out, like Don King and Bob Arum, when they die, you know that there are people, man. There are people that's going to take their place. Okay? Or handlers. The people that they've been handling going to take their place. And see, I don't want to get too deep in this video, because I know when I start talking about handlers, and when I start talking about the hierarchy, and when I actually start talking about the families, okay, the hierarchy of families, the worship, when I start talking about that, it gets too deep. So we ain't gonna go into that. But I tell you what, I tell you right now, Bob Arum is definitely a Freemason. And he's going to hand that off to somebody that he's been grooming. Boxing wicked and evil as hell. And if you're a fighter, you have to know these things going in. I'm sure Deontay Wilder knows that the sport of boxing is dirty. Floyd Mayweather knows. I mean, that's why Floyd Mayweather have everybody take these blood and urine tests. That's why Floyd Mayweather, man, see, they go through all the stops, man, to keep somebody, from pulling the wool over their eyes. That's why they do that. That's why. Take a good look, y'all. Because these are the people that we know about. Guys, there's people in boxing cheating right now that you don't even have that idea. Like, look, man, they're coming up with new ways to cheat, man. They coming up with new ways to cheat. Like, man, it's even people, man, that's coming up, man. And this is when I heard this. And I'm going to let y'all go. I heard this. I heard that, like there's like the Gauls, like. And this guy who fights, this guy on spars, he told me, man, he said that there were some fighters weaving. Now get this. They were weaving like little metallic threads. Okay, they were weaving that into the Gauls. Little metallic threads. Okay, and this is crazy, man. Like the stuff that the links that people go through. They were weaving that into the gauze. Okay, and so then when you wrap your hand, you can't see the little metallic threads. And that'll make your punches harder. And I said, dude, come on, man. People are doing that? He said, yeah. And then what they'll do is that they'll take like, and he was saying that they'll take like some paint. They'll take a little bit of paint and blotch it over the gauze and wrap it up real tight and then put more gauze on top of that. So you can't see the gauze with the metallic substance in it, and you can't see like the paint. So when you see it, it'll look like a normal piece of gauze. You can't see the metallic threads in there. You can't see it. And I said, damn, so people coming up with ways like this to cheat. He said, yeah, people do this. I'm like, God, people literally do this. The sport of boxing, the cheating and the scandals in boxing, they're never going to go away, guys. As long as you got a commission, as long as the mafia, as long as you got these promoters running boxing, it's going to always be a dirty sport, man. It's going to always be a dirty sport until somebody regulates this sport. Okay, and then we'll get everybody fighting on an even playing field. I mean, folks, it is. I mean, I'm shocked now in 2020. I'm shocked if two fighters are clean. I'm talking about I am. I would be shocked if somebody is clean. That's the thing. So, could we just say, well, yeah, Deontay Wilder need to go on and suck it up because it's a dirty sport? You could technically say that. Like, you really could technically say that. But, why the hell do I want to fight somebody and they dirty and I'm being clean? Because y'all know damn well, if Deontay Wilder would have got caught with some damn gloves flopping or with some padding removed, they would have banned his black ass from the sport. And that's what they would have tried to do. Man, they tried to have Shane Mosley banned. They tried to get Shane Mosley out of here. Hell, and y'all remember when Floyd Mayweather with the IV, the whole IV drip? Man, they swore up and down Floyd was trying to mask a drug. Them racist fans, they wanted Floyd Mayweather out. Boy, they knew that this man was cheating for Manny Pacquiao. They wanted Floyd Mayweather out the game, even when the commission, because that's the commission. Y'all love them so much. They said that Floyd Mayweather, there was no wrongdoing. They said he did nothing wrong. Y'all didn't believe the commission. Y'all said Floyd was cheating. See, I already know. You guys are a bunch of racist bastards, man. That's what you are. That's why when y'all come to my channel, I don't take nothing you say seriously, and I just delete y'all. I get y'all out of my face. See, I don't want you to be comfortable on my channel. I don't want a racist to be comfortable. I don't want you ever comfortable. See, this ain't the place that you come to get settled in and think that you finna get a free ride, because you're not. You're not. I stand up for the brother Deontay Wilder, man. And I hope justice is served.